I get really excited and I start talking quickly. So I apologize. Can everyone hear me?
Se emociona mucho y luego habla mucho. Pero in the way that.
It's a really exciting idea to me. So there we go. I really am excited. I feel like it meets so many goals of the project. You know,
Su propuesta, ella piensa que alcanza muchos diferentes goals, metas.
so like queremos algo buenísimo, you know, cohesive. That's a word that is important. I don't know that word in Spanish. Cohesive?
Cohesivo.
Cohesivo.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a bilingual crowd.
And it brings the community together. It brings recognition of the community leaders. It develops the artists in the community. Do you want to say those in Spanish?
Okay, can you say it one more time?
Desarrollo los artistas y se da, like, how do you say recognize?
Se reconoce.
Yeah, se reconoce los líderes de la comunidad.
Ajá, quiere reconocer a los líderes de la comunidad a través de la propuesta.
Yeah. So let me now really quickly, I want to show you a few more things. Okay, this is the general idea.
Esa es su idea general que propone a los 16 cuadros.
Is that a back? No, this is forward. Okay. So I wouldn't select the leaders, somebody else would.
Alguien de otra persona va a seleccionar los líderes que está proponiendo para los 16 murales.
Yeah. And it's like a Google sheet where they either pick or they're assigned a word, and then they have a meetup time. They meet up and then come up with a sketch, pen and paper, a drawing, whatever they want.
Y los líderes que seleccionan son las personas que pintarían una propuesta, un sketch, y después ahí es lo que ella pintaría. Right?
Yeah, and we're just showing like one moment. So each of them doesn't have to create a collage or all the stories. They just pick one moment that they really think is important. And then I would sort of do some culling, reorganizing, and making sure that it reads as a work of art. And there may be some editing, working with the artist to explain like let's make sure that this reads.
Is this a moment? What kind of? Is this
Like when I say moment, we're talking about like the mariachi band in the backyard, not also people going to church and also people helping with
it's a
recycling.
moment that
It's a single
That is like-
event or idea, whether it's illustrative style. It's, yeah.
a moment that represents like what? So I can
Represents
explain.
North Fair Oaks.
Oh, okay. So este grupo va a escoger un momento que representa North Fair Oaks y la artista va a diseñar ese momento y pintarlo en el mural.
Con los artistas que quieren. Optional, like you come up Tuesday through Thursday, or maybe have a weekend day and you just come when you can, and then I'll work with them, coach them along or 5 minutes. So now I'm going to show you work that I've done that I picked things that might apply to this project. In this mural, the kids submitted all these designs to their teachers, and each grade had a certain word that their grade was assigned for, like community or respect or whatever. So there were 6 grades. I got submitted hundreds of drawings, and I incorporated a handful of them into this banner that runs across a mural that I painted. So I just kind of wanted to show you how the whole rainbow, the kids did these, but it's interwoven in with the artwork. These were the designs I received. So sweet.
El mural que nos está enseñando la artista fue unos estudiantes del grado 6th graders, del sixth.
Todos, actually, those others, yeah.
Varían.
These were more older kids.
Me entregaron estas ideas a ella y ella las convirtió en dificultad. En estos.
And this I actually did raised, so it's Braille, because it was the sight challenged place on campus. So it was super awesome. So the kids could actually walk along and feel the simple designs. So that was fun. And that's a detail, you know, it showed like times tables, butterfly. Sometimes I pulled out elements because I was using a textural material. I wasn't able to do.
I'm just gonna, todo eso es trabajo que ha hecho en el pasado. Just saying that it's
Yes,
her past work. Yeah.
And I just love that so many of the community felt seen. The kids felt like they were part of it. So there was a great community reception on that. Okay. This is another project. I pretty much wanted to show you what low art it might look like, because this is on water boxes in San Jose.
Este es otro proyecto para enseñarles cómo se miraría el arte abajo. Esto es hecho, you say watercolors? Or what is it?
It's their water boxes. They're like from the
Oh,
water district.
Son como cajas de útiles en San Jose.
Yeah. And I put quotes around them, roomy quotes, nature, you know, so people pause as they go. So it's possible. I just want to show how words work, how they slow people down, how they interact with the art. It's quite like charming.
So you say people stop and think.
People walk along and they read the poetry. There's like three audiences we're working with: people who walk, who are coming to see the art, who want to read the words and see if they recognize anybody. There's people driving by, and there's people who see it every day, who just bike by, who it just gives them like, a wow, this my community is so beautiful. So like adding different layers that are appealing at different speeds is so important. So that's kind of what I did here.
So ella pintó para tres diferentes personas, para la persona que maneja y mira el arte, para la persona que va caminando y mira todo el arte y lee las palabras, y como el ciclista que está pasando.
So it's just un detalle. Eso es más bajo, es like menos de un pie y se escriba alrededor. Solo ejemplos de mi arte para que veas lo que hago. Mi estilo. Yeah. So examples of work. This is in City of San Jose. I did this for the city. And I put this on here because of two reasons. One is just the color palette is very rainbow driven, even though it doesn't feel in your face, like that's a big rainbow. But just like the gradations here. Also,
Este es un mural que hizo en San José y lo puso aquí para que miraran cómo usa los diferentes colores del arco iris y cómo van todos los colores.
yeah. Like how I mix them up. I don't know.
Cómo los mezcla,
Yeah.
cómo los incluye.
Yeah.
Un ejemplo.
Yeah, y lo veía como, I saw this project, like each one was a standalone, separate wall too. I wanted each one to feel like it could be on its own.
So ella lo pintó con la idea de que pueden estar solos en un cuadro y puede ser un arte completo, un mural completo, y ya luego los pone todos juntos y es otro mural completo.
This is my last slide, so I'm just gonna make one more comment first. I'll show you.
That sounds great.
And this was also very much input by the community, so I just wanted to point that out. There's like a whole field of butterflies of the monarchs, just to symbolize the immigrant community in that neighborhood. This was like the Vietnamese community, wanted some water in it, so.
Ese también fue un mural donde la comunidad tuvo mucho que decir, dio sus opiniones, incluyó las mariposas porque hay un, what is there for the butterfly?
Monarchs, like there's a whole bunch of monarchs coming out of our head. They get smaller and smaller. It just represents immigration community.
La mariposa es representante de la comunidad inmigrante y también incluyó the Vietnamese culture.
Yeah, they wanted water. So there were some changes as I created a design and then I took it to different community meetings and vetted different ideas. And it's in front of a playground. So I wanted to be for kids. So like this butterfly is for a short person to stand in front of and get their own butterfly wings. And this one is for an adult if they stand a little forward.
So el mural está cerca de un parque y hizo la mariposa baja para que un niño o una niña se ponga enfrente y le pueden salir las alas, o también un adulto puede usar la mariposa grande.
So in this art, we want to think about everybody in the community in a similar way.
En este proyecto quiere también pensar sobre la comunidad como lo
Entero.
en general.
I think, oh, and I showed a detail because of the butterfly. And that's it, we did it.
So now we'd like to give you an opportunity to ask questions of the artist. Discussion about what she shared. Anybody have any questions?
I'm just wondering how you deal with quality control when you're dealing with people from different levels of skill when it comes to change the actual computer.
What is the question?
The question is, how do I deal with quality control? And the answer is, I'm the boss.
Oh.
I will have the final say with paintbrush. And if something doesn't look good, I so nicely say, I want this for the community to look as good as it can. And we're gonna work together. I'm gonna show you how to do it, but in the end, I want it to look like a professional work of art. And I think that that is the primary. It's a learning opportunity, and it's an opportunity to always be kind and patient, understand everyone's at different levels. But you know, drips everywhere and like messy work, that's just not gonna cut it for this project.
So esta es una oportunidad, se me olvidó decir lo que estaba diciendo Lar, pero es una oportunidad para preguntarle preguntas específicas a la artista Morgan. So si alguien tiene preguntas, puede preguntar ahora.
Yeah.
I'm just, my question is that, like, we roll the professional.
Yes.
But if I try, even a butterfly, it would not look as nice.
Yeah.
Right, and so I'm just wondering if the colors and everything is okay, but just the quality of. the
Yeah.
image is not good, you change it, how would you do it?
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, I've been doing this for so long. I painted with lots of kids while I do their room, and I mix the color and I show them what for the butterfly. And after they leave, I may cut it back a little bit because the wings are not right or whatever. And they always point out, I helped with the mural, you know, that was important to me. Like, I see just where's the balance? Oftentimes, I mean, I have the last say. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go over everything until I'm happy with it. And it might mean painting over the butterfly and explain that to everyone nicely, like, we're gonna get your concept on here, and it may shift a little bit in process. But I don't think for this project, it has to look like my butterfly per se on every single one either. So I think there's a middle ground if it's looking good. The other thing is with volunteers, they can take as much time as they want, you know. There's just a lot of navigating it, and I painted, like I said, do these workshops. So I should have showed a couple murals that I completed with workshops. They don't look exactly like my work, but they look pretty good, because in the end, I'm the one there handing them, try this brush, let's try this color. Now go ahead and outline it. Okay, now we're gonna try this. And then it's kind of like that. So it's not like I'll come back in 5 hours and like, thanks, you did great, bye-bye. It's kind of a little bit more.
So para dar un resumen de todo lo que pasó right now.
Sorry.
La pregunta fue que como la artista Morgan usa muchos voluntarios para que le ayuden a pintar los murales. La pregunta fue que cómo controla la calidad del mural si hay gente que tal vez no son tan profesionales como lo es Morgan. So la respuesta fue que Morgan les ayuda, más o menos les da como una guía a los voluntarios, cómo pinten esto, cómo pinten lo otro, pero si no está muy bien adecuado, ella luego pasa y le da un retoque para que se mire todo profesional.
We also want to check if there are any questions on Zoom.
If people have questions on Zoom, you could use the raise hand feature.
It's super exciting to do this project. I'm just like, it's gonna happen. It's pretty soon. You guys have put so much work into it.
Let's see, hazards.
Okay. Oh,
So will the 16 members be exclusively 16, or will it kind of be like, you know, like the main person and then they'll be composed of like other volunteers in that group, and then you'll have 16 different groups?
Question.
Your members, you know, one pop.
You know, I think that if, you know, I'm selected, but I've done all my work in my life with my wife by my side, and they wanted to be in the meeting together. It's like, it's not, I don't think it has to be one, but the 16 might be, we've really identified this person. They started this organization, this nonprofit. This is the leader. If the nonprofit then wants to take it a little further and say, hey, artists, come meet with our small 5-person team. I'm not sure that's gonna help come up with one single story, because it's so nice if it's personal and meaningful. So I might have kind of a framework of suggesting, but I don't think it needs to be so restrictive.
La pregunta fue otro resumen, ¿verdad? La pregunta fue que la propuesta que está haciendo Morgan es de tener 16 diferentes voluntarios para que representen los 16 murales. La pregunta fue que si va a seleccionar como 16 líderes y debajo de los líderes tendrá otro grupo o cómo funcionará ese aspecto. Pero Morgan dijo que no está muy segura, pero did you say that, what was like a short answer to that question?
Short answer is however we get a really singular, meaningful story, and it seems like a one-on-one meeting is a great way to do that,
Okay.
but
So she said, dijo que como pueden agarrar la historia, so si es teniendo una reunión con una persona, solamente ella y la persona, or if there's more people, are you open to that?
Yeah.
O si hay más gente también.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of depends on the theme and stuff, and yeah.
Then should this be the last question so we can move, or what, how are we in time?
She's got 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, Blair.
The Sienna Youth Center is actually in North Fair Oaks. That's one neighborhood.
Oh, cool.
So the St. Francis Center and the Sienna Youth Center. It'd be cool, like if the whole after-school cohort wanted to do a panel with you. I mean,
Exactly, some extras like that. I've done a series of murals for that center, and they know of me. They could always reach out to me, you know.
El comentario fue que Blair vive en el lado de North Fair Oaks, donde está la Siena Youth Center y St. Francis Center, y está proponiendo que tal vez los niños que van a Siena Youth Center puedan pintar uno de los murales.
But I would put Sister Christina at the top of my recommendations of leaders in North Fair Oaks, and I think she would pull a stunt like that. So,
Y
Probably
ella
would
piensa
happen.
que ella ha trabajado con Siena Youth Center in the past, right?
yes,
Y piensa poner a Sister Christina en una de los líderes y Sister
she's
Christina
she's a
tal vez,
rebel leader.
y Sister Christina tal vez invitaría a todos los que van a Siena Youth Center.
Yeah.
Any other question? Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Morgan.
Thanks for your time.
Again. Great. So our next artist is Emily Fromm. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Fromm, wonderful.
La-
So let's-
I would love your help, Maggie.
Just go like slowly. so
I
that
will.
can- okay.
If it's okay, I'll look to you when I
Okay.
like reach the end of the thought and maybe you can translate. Thank you so much for your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
Translation, Maggie.
It's very hot in here. Mucho calor.
Happier than I expected. Okay, are we ready? Wonderful. Hello, and thank you all so much for your thought, time, and consideration in regards to the art for the North Fair Oaks Healthy Community Mural Project. My name is Emily, and I'm a San Francisco-based artist known for painting cityscapes which highlight local businesses, architecture, and diverse communities. I moved to San Francisco. Pardon, go.
Wow, we're gonna have to start again.
Okay. Would you like to start?
Yeah,
again? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
please, just like the first phrase and then you stop.
Okay.
So every time you have to take a breath,
Okay.
that's when I'll just.
Very good. It's a plan. Okay, starting again. Hello, thank you all for your time and consideration in regards to the artwork for the North Fair Oaks Healthy Community Mural Project.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muchas gracias por tu. I'm losing it, ya lo estoy perdiendo, wow, it's so hot. Les estoy dando las gracias por estar aquí para presentarles su arte de North Fair Oaks.
I'm a local artist known for painting cityscapes that highlight local businesses, iconic architecture, and diverse communities.
Ella es una artista local que se específicamente pinta murales donde resaltan los local businesses, o sea, los negocios locales, pero de una forma como está ahí, como okay, ese es su estilo específico. That's your specific style, is what I'm saying.
Yes, so the style that I paint in reflects the aesthetic of cartoons and comic books.
El estilo que usa es una reflexión sobre las caricaturas y los libros cómicos,
but applied to modern subject matter, utilizing techniques like traditional sign painting and mural installations.
pero es algo que refleja un poco más moderno.
I moved to San Francisco in 2009 to study art at San Francisco State, and I've since shown my artwork locally and internationally and painted installations for clients like the San Francisco Arts Commission, SFO Airport, companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, nonprofit arts organizations, and local businesses throughout the Bay.
Se movió a San Francisco para estudiar arte y se graduó en el 2013 y ha pintado murales a través de muchos lugares como el aeropuerto de San Francisco, Google o otras compañías de alto nivel, high level companies.
So when I am not making artwork, I'm also an active part of my community and an activist. I make artwork to raise funds and awareness for organizations which have included the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, as well as the San Francisco Coalition on Homelessness, the Nature Conservancy, National Abortion Federation, and others.
Cuando no está pintando arte, se considera una activista donde
It's okay.
peleado por casos como, no sé cómo se dicen estos nombres en español, pero se pueden dar una idea de qué es lo que ella, what you stand for, de lo que ella pelea.
I wanted to provide some examples of my artwork. So previous exhibitions, this is one of my first solo exhibits in San Francisco.
Quiere enseñarles su arte que ha pintado en el pasado. Todo eso es lo que está en la exhibición de San Francisco.
And two years later, I was awarded the commission for San Francisco Airport, and I created 6 original paintings, 4 of which were selected to become the final artworks.
Y después, unos años después, pintó 6 diferentes exhibitions, son exhibiciones, exhibiciones para el aeropuerto, San Francisco Airport, el aeropuerto de San Francisco, y después de allí concursó y ganó 2-1. 2-1.
Yes.
Oh, and then,
Sorry.
y 2 de sus exhibiciones ganaron un contest. Otra vez con la calor.
Wonderful. Thanks, Maggie. So 4 of the artworks were selected, and I worked for a number of years in partnership with a renowned mosaic studio to complete the final installation, which is a 40 by 10-foot depiction of 4 neighborhoods in San Francisco. So I highlighted the Castro, Chinatown, Embarcadero, and Mission District.
So en esta exhibición, ella decidió enfocarse en lo que representa San Francisco, o cuatro representaciones de San Francisco, que es Chinatown, what was the other one?
Castro,
El Castro,
Embarcadero,
Embarcadero
and the Mission.
y la Misión.
And so this exhibit is on permanent display in San Francisco International Airport, Harvey Milk Terminal 1.
Y eso está en el aeropuerto de San Francisco permanente.
The 4 original paintings are now on display in San Francisco City Hall.
Y los originales ahora están lo que están enseñando en el City Hall de San Francisco.
Since then, I've had the opportunity to paint a number of other public murals, including this one for the SFMTA, also known as SFMini.
Y después de allí tuvo la oportunidad de pintar otros murales en,
This is West Portal. It's a neighborhood in San Francisco, and it was on an ADA wheelchair ramp so that people could get on the L subway line from the street if they're in a wheelchair. And the concept was to bolster neighborhood morale during the pandemic for businesses that were essential workers and some who had to close their doors.
So eso lo pintó representando a los negocios durante COVID que tuvieron trabajo a mantenerlos abiertos o que no se fueran de negocio. Pero lo que es único de ese mural es que lo pintó en un lugar para la gente que usa como sillas de ruedas, que puede disfrutar del mural cuando sube al metro, subway. Al metro, yeah.
For the sake of time, I'm gonna kind of speed through some others here. This was one for my neighborhood where I lived for 13 years in San Francisco on a neighborhood cafe.
Eso lo pintó en San Francisco, donde ella vivió por 13 años en una como cafetería.
This one was the largest mural I've painted yet for the city of Los Altos to commemorate a movie theater which stood near the mural site from the 40s through the 70s.
Y este lo pintó en Los Altos para representar un teatro de películas, movie theater, or just
Yeah.
Representar el teatro que fue, when was this?
I painted this last year.
Oh, el año pasado.
Yes. This one was for Google to inspire active employees in biking at their newest campus in Mountain View.
Y este fue en Google en Mountain View para sugerirle a los nuevos empleados que usen sus bicicletas para llegar al trabajo o como no usan los carros. Right?
Yeah.
Not using cars.
Finally, one last image commissioned for the City Planning Office of San Francisco to highlight neighborhoods lesser known by the general public, but known by city employees. So this is an industrial and residential neighborhood, Bayshore Boulevard in the Bayview District.
Y el último es en San Francisco, que era para resaltar a las comunidades que mucha gente no sabe. So es una comunidad industrial. And like, what's another, like, can you tell me something else about it or?
It's okay.
Okay.
Just for the sake of time, thank you for taking a look. But I wanted to talk a bit about my process as well. So before I paint, I get to know the neighborhood really well, visiting on foot, by bicycle, and take photos over time, trying to capture communities, people of all ages, shapes, abilities, genders, cultural backgrounds, walks of life.
Quiere hablar de sus procesos o antes de pintar un mural en una comunidad, ella quiere conocer la comunidad, so va en su bicicleta o camina, quiere conocer a diferentes personas que viven en la comunidad, diferentes mujer, hombre o otros genders, de diferentes backgrounds, diferentes culturas, so everybody in the community.
Thank you. Yes. Once in the studio, I paint everything by hand and create line work details with attention to text. I wanted to mention my aesthetic is formed by the San Francisco Mission School, Cubism, California landscape painting.
Y después, cuando agarra la información, pinta todo por mano, usando su técnica que pueden mirar ahí.
And I work with large groups and commissions on my projects, so I'm used to working collaboratively, managing timelines, different expectations, and shared budgets.
Y está acostumbrada a trabajar con comisiones, como lo tenemos la comisión aquí, y siempre trata de llegar al tiempo donde tiene que terminar pintando. Everything, yeah.
I would be very happy to partner with local schools and organizations to bring in people to contribute to the mural, to deepen their ties with the artwork and give them a lasting memory of having contributed, trying to deepen their process and their involvement and their future involvement in the art.
Y estaría contenta de colaborar con escuelas o con otras comunidades para darles una experiencia a los estudiantes.
And so you can see, I do all my work step by step so that people can assist in a paint by number approach. Anyone with no experience at all can assist with the mural.
Hace sus murales paso por paso para que la gente que quiere participar y ayudar se les haga fácil participar.
Great. So for North Fair Oaks, I just wanted to say how deeply moved I was in the conversations we've had about this project by the commitment to family values, cultural traditions, and activism that I've heard here within the community.
Cuando estaba conociendo a la comunidad de North Fair Oaks, se sintió muy contenta y apasionada de que movida del valor de la familia, valor de la cultura que tiene la comunidad.
I'm struck by the colors and hand-painted nature of the signage and see North Fair Oaks as a perfect backdrop to illustrating the 16 healthy community mural priorities.
Le gustó mucho de North Fair Oaks mirar todos los diferentes colores, los diferentes diseños que tienen los signs y estaría muy contenta de ayudar a pintar los 16 murales.
Because my artwork is about creating vignettes that celebrate the everyday and the people and businesses in our communities which shape the environment, I feel like my skill set would be uniquely suited to this project.
Su estilo de arte, ella piensa que sería bueno para este proyecto porque podrá ilustrar los diferentes, I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Can you say it again? Please?
Sure, it's
Just like simple, like not using words like vignette, because I can't.
just like, you could say a series, multiple images about celebrating individuals.
Okay, so con los 6 murales ella puede enfocarse en ilustrar o representar a la gente individualmente.
If selected, my goal would be to amplify the voices of those living and working in this community to make sure the artwork rings true for those who are present.
Si la seleccionan, se va a asegurar de representar a la gente que trabaja aquí en esta comunidad.
I made 3 original paintings for the proposal, which are all situated within the community of North Fair Oaks.
Hizo 3 diferentes paintings para proporcionarles a ustedes que representan North Fair Oaks.
The first is celebrating family at Panaderia Michoacan,
La primera es celebrando a la familia en la panadería Michoacán,
which was identified as one of the oldest and most treasured businesses in the neighborhood.
que encontró que fue uno de los más viejos negocios y uno de los negocios más apreciados en North Fair Oaks.
I visited and met the owners and also wanted to create a sense of connectedness and togetherness of this family, celebrating in front with also a colorful fruit stand, native vegetation, signs in both Spanish and English to promote the bilingual nature of the neighborhood.
Se reunió con los dueños del negocio y quiso presentar este arte con una familia. Pueden mirar que aquí hay como un carrito vendiendo comida, los signs están en bilingüe.
The second concept was cultivating creativity and enjoying the arts at Casa Circulo Cultural.
El segundo concepto que usó es ilustrar a Casa Círculo, que es otro lugar en North Fair Oaks.
I wanted to celebrate this center as a community hub with clothing and accessories noting the arts activities that take place here. So we see ballet dance, traditional Mexican folklorico dance, martial arts, mariachi music, and supportive guardians bringing their families to the center.
Y quiso ilustrar lo que representa este lugar donde hay diferentes actividades para los niños como bailando, el mariachi folclórico, el baile folclórico, y también pueden mirar que puso el mural de Second Avenue. I'm just saying about that you included this.
I also wanted to include a miniature artwork within the artwork of Jose Castro's mural, which adorns the building.
Oh, and that's what I just said.
Oh, wonderful, thank you. The last concept I prepared was advocating for housing and equitable labor practices at El Concilio, another business which I visited and met with during my time in my research in North Fair Oaks. So you see signs that promote fair wages for all, equitable housing, family services, and jobs. We see people of all walks of life and families approaching the building to find helpers with open arms.
Y el último concepto donde quiso ilustrar fue el concilio de San Mateo County, que trabaja mucho con ayudar a la gente para encontrarles casas, like affordable housing, asequibles o viviendas, que luchan mucho por las injusticias que tal vez algunos tenemos.
I want to note that these concepts are in no way the final form. I welcome feedback of the community, and if selected, it would be a collaboration to determine the final 13 panels.
Y quiere recordarles que estos 3 conceptos no son los finales, sino es un comienzo, y si tienen algunas sugerencias, ella puede colaborar con todos y introducir los 16 últimos.
The color palette that I've selected was designed to complement the colors in the surrounding area of the mural site. And each panel would have a dominant color, which similarly to Morgan's proposal would create a subtle rainbow effect. So the ones I've designed are red, yellow, orange, and green, which would yield a rainbow design in the total project.
So seleccionó estos colores para que representen los 16 murales y casi similar como la otra artista Morgan. Cuando los miras todos juntos va a ser como un arco iris, así como tiene.
And so once the artworks are on site, they form an immersive experience for viewers to take pictures with, engage with, feel they are part of the scene.
So ya cuando están el mural en los 16 hogares, la gente puede tomarse fotos, puede mirarlos.
Though each piece is a standalone artwork, they form a bigger and more powerful idea of what it means to be part of a healthy community.
Pero cada mural lo puedes mirar individualmente o lo puedes mirar todo junto y es un arte completo.
Even as the neighborhood of North Fair Oaks changes over time, my hope is that the mural will serve as a place of remembrance and celebration for the neighborhood as it was, for locals to return to and remember their neighborhood, for future generations and visitors to visit and learn about what once was.
Sorry, I have this. I just need to take a pause. So North Fair Oaks está cambiando mucho, pero ella piensa que con estos 16 murales, las generaciones que van pasando pueden regresar a North Fair Oaks o las personas que ya no están aquí y mirar los 16 murales y les puede recordar algunos buenos momentos.
At this time, I just want to say thank you all to this community, to the Office of Arts and Culture, to the two other talented and esteemed artists here today. Thank you all so much for your time. I welcome public questions.
¿Preguntas?
Are there any Zoom questions?
Oh, there's a question there.
So, when you were taking the pictures to kind of like come up with your 3 original paintings, you said that you basically walked around the community, actually talk to people around the street or like ask some questions about it to kind of get an idea of it.
I didn't stop strangers on the street, but I did go into a lot of businesses and spoke with them about how long they had been in North Fair Oaks and what their day-to-day operations were like.
So, la pregunta fue que sí, cuando ella estaba haciendo su research o buscando información de North Fair Oaks, sí hablaba con gente de la que se encontraba o cómo agarraba sus ideas, pero Emily dijo que entró a los negocios de North Fair Oaks y allí fue donde hablaba con los dueños, trataba de entender cómo eran sus negocios, cómo eran sus días para agarrar información. Yeah. Other questions?
So a lot of the example images you showed were outside business, urban type of scenes, and I'm wondering if there are other type of scenes that you were thinking of.
Yeah, so in my list of concepts, I've also identified some scenes, for instance, the importance of mental health, having participants in an outdoor area, perhaps meditating, reading, or practicing yoga. Also cleanups that would take place on the streets of North Fair Oaks. And that's part of that collaboration that I would like to get to know through the process, because both in my conversations with local leaders and also at the library, I've asked some of the most prominent outdoor spaces in North Fair Oaks. And a lot of people were unsure how to answer that. And I think it would be kind of another perhaps survey or thing I can conduct with community to learn about places that the community feels at home and that are outdoors.
La pregunta fue que la persona que hizo la pregunta puede mirar que muchos de eso es de lo que pintó Emily son negocios de North Fair Oaks y quiere saber si hay otras ideas aparte de los negocios. Y Emily dice que eso es la parte de la colaboración que ella quiere hacer con la comunidad. Se enteró que la salud mental es importante en North Fair Oaks, eventos donde la comunidad ha limpiado las calles de North Fair Oaks. So, hablando con otra gente puede ilustrar estas ideas. There's another question in the back.
And this way, we would be engaging, other people. Or are you planning on engaging the actual people when it's a younger community, to be creative? How are you planning to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would hope to reach out to local schools, perhaps after-school organizations, community centers, and see if they would like to be involved in any way and in what way they would like to participate. From there, I can print out color maps of my work, which isolate one or more colors at a time and correspond with letters or numbers on the wall. So it's as simple as just identifying the color on the paper, finding the spot on the wall. And I've had great results with this for people who are young and also with no experience painting. Thank you.
I'm not, okay, I'll translate one part of the question, the other
Great.
one I didn't get. Una parte de la pregunta que hizo la señora de atrás es que cómo planea Emily de incluir a la comunidad para que le ayude a pintar los murales. Y Emily dijo que a través de las escuelas o otros miembros de la comunidad, invitándolos a que, inviting them to join and paint, right? But I didn't get the panel stuff, like the colors.
It's like a color map that, or you could say a printout, maybe.
But what was the question?
Oh, how to involve like young ones or people without.
Oh, through the
experience.
color map? Oh, okay.
Yeah, just a corresponding design that they can refer to.
Oh, okay. Y la otra parte de la pregunta es cómo involucrar a esas personas que tal vez no tienen experiencia. Morgan va a imprimir su palette, ¿es it paleta? No, right? It's not paleta. Palette. Los colores los que va a usar y darles una guianza. Okay. I think we have to move on to the next presenter.
Thank you.
no,
she's got.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
were giving me the signal. Sorry. Any other questions?
I do like that, you know, you went to business and that because usually, like all these, you know, artists have in mind that you guys want to represent the community, but the truth is that not all the community will be present in things like this, so it's really important, and I feel like it's, you know, it involves them when, you know, obviously, like you said, you want to stop people on the street, but I think that would really help with the party for children, because that's a real way to kind of communicate with the people in the community. And like I said, most of the time you won't get actual people in the community to join things like this, like, you know, families and not work, but they do want to be represented, but you just have to find the best way to kind of communicate and kind of, you know, connect with them, because you only have a very small, you know, representation.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, so es nomás un comentario, no una pregunta, pero quería reconocer que la artista Emily trató de conocer a la comunidad a través de los negocios, porque en muchas ocasiones la comunidad en North Fair Oaks no puede venir a estos tipos de reuniones porque están haciendo otras cosas con su familia o están trabajando o etcétera, etcétera. Pero hablando con los negocios que tienen aquí mucho tiempo, es clave para reconocer como qué se necesita, qué es lo que representa North Fair Oaks, y más quería agradecerle.
I just want to mention, I did go back to Penedry, Michoacan as an example and showed them the painting, the family that owned it. And that was really exciting. She was excited to see it. And I think just that visual element helps them relate to, you know, this is an artwork and my actual business will be in the artwork, because sometimes it's hard to understand a conceptual mural project and what that might mean, but to see, wow, this is my family's business and here it is, can be a personal moment. And also I'd like to mention, I'd be happy to bring the original paintings. They're a bit fragile, but if it would be helpful to bring them to the office, so you can see them up close, I would be happy to do that.
Y ella sí fue a la panadería michoacana para enseñarles la propuesta que había hecho, donde su negocio está pintado, y les gustó mucho porque lo pudieron mirar como es exactamente que ella lo estaba planeando, y nos está ofreciendo traer los dos originales. Maybe we need to put that in silence. Nos está trayendo los dos, nos está ofreciendo traer los dos originales para enseñar.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Thank you all so much for your time.
Water, Maggie.
Oh my God, I need a fan.
Our next artist is Elizabeth Gomez. And if you want to go back.
Do you want to do your?
Yo hablo español.
Yeah, that's what
Pero lo hago, es que lo
Yeah.
digo. ¿Qué te parece mejor?
Sí, sí, tú lo haces. Nomás no se te olvide.
Bueno, si me voy rápido me paro.
Okay, venga. I'm gonna sit over there.
I am supposed to do my translation, but I told her that if she sees me running, she can stop me and she takes over. My name is Elizabeth Gomez. I am originally from Mexico City.
They can see the full screen. There you go.
Me llamo Elizabeth Gómez y soy de la Ciudad de México. I have lived in Redwood City for over 2 decades. He vivido en Redwood City por más de 2 décadas. I'm a professional artist and I have been making art for 25 years. Soy artista profesional y he estado haciendo arte como por 25 años. Los voy a llevar por un paseo a lo que yo imagino que sería caminar por ahí. What I decided to do is imagine that I'm walking by the 2 walls. So you're going to walk with me through one wall and then the other, and I'll show you my ideas for each piece of the walk. Y les voy a enseñar mis ideas como si estuviéramos caminando junto a esas paredes una por una. Estamos empezando en el underpass del Southeast. Está Middle Road de un lado, Middlefield, y el camino del otro. Este es uno de los primeros paneles. Estamos empezando por Middlefield, caminando hacia el camino real. So I decided to start the murals facing Middlefield because that's where the big community is. Decidí que el mural empezara hacia Middlefield y no hacia el camino, porque es donde está la comunidad. Entonces, que empezamos a caminar desde Middlefield. So this is the first panel that I'm thinking about. It has kind of like a funky shape, like something like this, because the panels start going up and then down. Este es uno de los primeros paneles que tiene una forma muy rara, porque cuando vas caminando sube y baja del puente, entonces algunos son triángulos, algunos son rectángulos, este sería como un triángulo. My idea here, like my friend artist, is to involve the community. Mi idea aquí, igual que mis amigas que están presentando, es involucrar a la comunidad. He dado muchas clases con niños y gente de todas las edades. I have taught many people to make art. I love collaborative art. And my idea here is to, in this first panel, have monarch butterflies done by the community. En esos primeros paneles me gustaría tener mariposas monarca hechas por la comunidad. I know that we hear the word monarch butterflies in immigration all the time. Sé que escuchamos todo el tiempo, las mariposas monarca, inmigrantes, por supuesto, pero en este caso es muy importante. But in this particular case, it's very important because North Fair Oaks is also known as Little Michoacán. North Fair Oaks también se le conoce como el pequeño Michoacán. And guess where the butterflies come from? The monarch butterflies that come to Mexico, from Mexico to Canada, here and then Canada, come from Michoacán. Las verdaderas mariposas monarcas que vienen a Estados Unidos y después a Canadá son de Michoacán. They spend the winters in a forest there called with trees called oyamel. Las mariposas monarcas pasan sus inviernos en Michoacán, en unos árboles que se llaman oyamel, and then they fly to California. Y después vienen a California. Entonces, por eso pensé que sería bonito empezar con monarcas. We're walking, so what I have here are pictures of the panels. This is the wall, kind of cementy, not so beautiful. And when you see them, they get like a perspective like this because they are lying down. Ahora vamos a empezar a caminar por los paneles. Como los ves de costado porque están un poco aventados hacia un lado, en lugar de parecer rectángulos, parecen como pirámides, pero en realidad son rectángulos. So this is after the butterflies. I'm thinking that I would like to show you where Fair Oaks is. and where Aguililla, Michoacán is. North Fair Oaks, people don't know where it is. Muchas veces las personas no conocen dónde está North Fair Oaks. What? A city between Atherton, what? Una ciudad entre Atherton y Redwood City, no sé dónde está. Well, I'm going to show you. This is where it is. So this is the aerial detail. And that's Aguililla, Michoacán. I am not exaggerating in saying that Aguililla, Michoacán is essential for North Fair Oaks. No exagero al decir que Aguililla, Michoacán es muy importante para North Fair Oaks, porque hasta este día, muchísimos de los pobladores siguen teniendo familia en Aguililla. Because up to this date, people from North Fair Oaks still have relatives in Aguililla, Michoacán. I'm going to start the motif of the monarch butterfly. Voy a empezar el motivo de la monarca y va a estar en todos los paneles. And you're going to see it in every panel. Also, I mean, these are just ideas. This is, of course, not the final work. Estas son ideas. Este no es el trabajo final. So look at this more like as a map or like as a how do you call it in English? Blueprint than the actual work. The actual work is going to be painterly, like the one that is under the Jefferson Pass. Estos no son el trabajo final, estos son como unos dibujitos donde ustedes entienden mis ideas. El trabajo final se va a ver como lo que está pintado debajo del paso de Jefferson. I would love to have some patterns in every panel. Me gustaría tener algunos patrones en cada panel, porque Michoacán es riquísimo en artes plásticas. I would love to use patterns that actually do belong again to Michoacán, like the monarch butterflies. So I just brought you an example, but the art from Michoacán is gorgeous. El arte de Michoacán es muy bonito, and this is just an example. Este es un plato hecho a mano. Este es un ejemplo, es un plato hecho a mano en Michoacán. Y yo propongo detrás de cada imagen poner un poquito de eso que viene de Michoacán, como para tejer las historias. This way, we put together all the stories, you see the origin and it just keeps on going. So this is like my second panel. I'm walking towards El Camino. Third panel, Aguililla, Michoacán. These are rectangles, but when you look at them, as I said, they look like this. Estos son rectángulos, pero cuando caminas se ven así porque están girados hacia un costado. So I'm just going to start telling a story. It is very common in Mexican muralism to be very narrative and tell a story. Con los paneles yo pienso contar una historia. Es muy común en el muralismo mexicano contar una historia muy narrativa. So here we are, Aguililla, Michoacán. Some of the grandparents are here. So here we have the monarch butterflies from the Oyamel forest. Aguililla, Michoacán. If you're from Aguililla, you will recognize it. Just Aguililla. And that's a grandmother. She's holding this plate because I'm going to start telling this story. Este es Aguililla, Michoacán. Tenemos a una abuelita de Michoacán con un plato hecho a mano. Also, her embroidery is typical of Michoacán. El vestido que tiene también tiene bordados típicos de Michoacán. Y aquí están las mariposas que empiezan su vuelo. The immigration starts. Keep on walking. What happened in North Fair Oaks, lo que pasó en North Fair Oaks, es que hubo algo que se llamaban el programa Braceros. There was a program called the Braceros program that started like in the 40s, empezó en los 40s. In this program, the United States wanted workers from Mexico to come here and work legally, since after the Second World War, there was a need for workers. El programa Bracero empezó a traer mexicanos porque faltaba gente que trabajara después de la Segunda Guerra Mundial. So guess where people from Aguililla came? They came to North Fair Oaks. La gente de Aguililla vino a North Fair Oaks. This is a picture from the 40s. Esta es una foto de los 40s. So the incredible thing about North Fair Oaks is that both men and women came to work. La cosa increíble de North Fair Oaks es que venían hombres y mujeres. Men work at the orchards. They were picking fruit from Cupertino and Sunnyvale. Los hombres trabajaban pescando fruta. Women work at a place where they can the fruit called the S&W Cannery. So women also had a job. Tenían que piscar, ellas enlataban la fruta en una fábrica que había. So incredibly, whole families came to North Fair Oaks from the beginning. Así que desde el principio, familias enteras vinieron a North Fair Oaks, no solo los hombres. In other places, only the men came. So from the beginning, North Fair Oaks had a strong family structure. I also want to tell you that I did a lot of research imagery, like I went to the historical archives. So I have many pictures of the history of North Oaks, and I did composites of the different images that were important to me. And my painting would be based on them. Another thing is that when I couldn't find an image, I just took a picture. Muchas de las imágenes que pienso pintar, esta todavía está pintada, están basadas en fotos reales de North Oaks. Fui a muchos archivos históricos a conseguir fotos de la historia de North Oaks y yo pienso pintarlas así como las ven, y lo que no veía yo iba y sacaba fotos, así que está basado en fotografía. The work is based in pictures, but basically, of course, there will be like paintings. Cuando las haga van a hacer pinturas. They will not look like photography. No van a parecer fotografía. We keep on walking. We're now here. Oh yes, and you know, the community voted for things they wanted to see in the mural. La comunidad votó por ideas que querían ver en el mural, por ejemplo, advocate for social justice, participate in your community, build safe communities. These are 3 things that the community wanted to see in the murals. So as you're walking, I'm gonna, in blue, point out to the things that are being touched by that particular mural. La comunidad votó, por ejemplo, por palabras como construya comunidades seguras, participe en la comunidad, busque justicia social. Entonces, mientras vas caminando, voy a ir tocando estos temas que la comunidad quería. Esto es el Community Center de North Oaks. En los 70s se tuvieron que organizar para poder hacerlo. Hablé con una mujer que se llama, lo escribí, pero su apellido es López. Sí, hablé con ella. I talked with this woman that said that people from North Oaks had to really organize to get their Fair Oaks Community Center. This is in the 70s. So they went out, they wanted a community center. And here you see a representation of the real community center that was there. This is the real drawing that they had at that time. Ese es el dibujo que usaron históricamente para su primer centro de comunidad que dice nosotros, we. And it was just so simple, all of us, we, but in Spanish and English, right? Like the community. Pero está en español y inglés como en la comunidad. In all of the panels, I will always incorporate the butterfly and some kind of design from Michoacán. En todos incorporaré la mariposa y diseños de Michoacán. Then there was, of course, a need for a health center. So in this one, I'm talking about participate in your community, promote youth participation. Un poquito después se hizo el primer centro de salud y era muy importante que existiera ya que no había una clínica que lo tuviera todo. This was also very important for the community because suddenly there was a health center that had many of the services that were not there. This is from a picture in the early 90s where a teacher is taking her students from Garfield to the health center to learn how to use it. And here I'm also talking about the importance of mental health, like a happy child, just being happy in the community. Este también habla sobre la salud mental de una niña que está feliz en su comunidad. Esta es una maestra llevando a sus niños desde Garfield al health center de esa época para que aprendieran sobre salud. Here we have children at Friendship Park. You're still walking. North Oaks tiene muy pocos parques. North Oaks does not have many parks, but it has the Friendship Park where you can grow your vegetables. So here I have a class, planting and enjoying. Love to learn, visit park and enjoy nature. Part of the 14 sentences that people wanted. Así que aquí están plantando. Children playing soccer with fresh vegetables and fruit. This one is eat healthy and exercise. So I have a beautiful cornucopia of Mexican vegetables con pepino y mango, con chile. This is like very nice and healthy Mexican food paired with children doing exercise at Hoover. As I said, all the images are from local children. Todas las imágenes que ven son de North Oaks. So in a way, you learn about the community, but you also get ideas of healthy living, right? Because this is a healthy mural, healthy community mural. Here is the one that says, encourage biking, exercise, and celebrate cultural diversity. En este pedazo es para andar en bicicleta, para ejercitarse, y sobre la diversidad cultural. Here you have a group of bikers in front of the beautiful mural of, Belma Castro. which is now very representative of North Oaks. When you think of North Oaks, you think of that mural. Aquí están todos los ciclistas enfrente del mural de Castro, que se volvió muy representativo de la comunidad. Castro told me that I could use the image and I could repaint his mural, so I have permission. Castro me dijo que podía reusar su mural para que todos pudieran disfrutarlo. I love this particular picture because it's very diverse. There are different ages, from different backgrounds. Me gusta mucho este porque hay gente de muchas, de muchas familias. You know, North Oaks is like 76% Latino, but the rest are everyone else. And this one represents a little bit of everyone. En North Oaks, como el 76% son latinos, muchos de Aguililla, pero también hay gente de otros tipos, y en este quiero incorporarlos a todos. I mean, you can see that I'm really saying bike. That is not in the real one, but it's a message to the public, right? I recommend that you buy it. Esto no existe en la verdad, pero estos son para que la gente quiera ser más saludable. Entonces es una manera de decir, anden su bicicleta. El siguiente es Recycle and Reuse o Respect the Environment, que también estaban en la lista. Recicle y reuse, respete el ambiente. And here you just have neighbors recycling, but we have those signs that represent North Oaks too. And avoid using just like a reusable bottle, you know, very simple. It's again like community do this, but that's what the Healthy Murals is about. So I'm trying to weave history plus good habits. Estoy tratando de coger la historia de North Oaks con buenos hábitos, porque es un mural de healthy mural, ¿no? El siguiente es Community Members Advocating for Fair Rent and Labor Practices. Aquí están otra vez miembros de la comunidad que quieren precios de renta posibles y también que se pueda trabajar. North Oaks, even as I was doing my research, even in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, and now have been advocating for fair rental prices. Desde todo lo que investigué de North Oaks, en los 70s, 80s, 90s y ahora, North Oaks pide precios justos para la vivienda, porque la gente se está teniendo que ir.
You're done, 10 minutes, I'm sorry, 15 minutes done.
Yeah, but we leave Spanish and English, no? When you stop me, when you need to stop me, I understand.
Oh, well, we need time for questions. So, I mean, if you want to, I can give you another minute or two from your questions.
Oh, the presentation.
What that?
Can you wrap up the presentation in 1 minute?
Sure, yeah, you can have one minute to wrap it up.
I understand. I just thought that it was also, it was a bit longer, but I understand. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk less, and I'm going to show you my ideas all the way to the end. Lo que voy a hacer ahora, porque se me está acabando el tiempo, es voy a hablar menos y les voy a hacer como si siguieran caminando. Siempre estoy tocando los temas de la encuesta. Next walk, so you cross the street. Again, collaborative work. Compassion, be kind and develop compassion, recognize the importance of mental health. Girl enjoying a frozen popsicle in the diverse storefronts. Build safe communities, encourage walking. Igual que las demás artistas, me encanta cómo se ve North Oaks. Y aquí hay unas niñas muy felices comiéndose su paleta a la michoacana. In the past and now, North Oaks has a variety of businesses. Antes y ahora, North Oaks tiene muchos negocios. One of the reasons is because it was not regulated. There was no regulated zoning. No había regulación de zona. Y eso hizo que hubiera una gran variedad de negocios. So, and to this day, it's still very varied. You know, you can build something and eat something on the same block. Puedes construir algo o comer algo en la misma cuadra. Oops. Otra vez la michoacana. You know, a family eating bread. El Festival de North Oaks del verano, que es maravilloso. This is the Festival of North Oaks. A little bit of charreada, a little bit of theater. The community gets together every summer in North Oaks to celebrate the community. Y estas son imágenes del festival. This is College Fund Queens of the Festival Scholarship Program. En North Oaks, todos los veranos se coronan reinas. In North Oaks, there is a queen crowning, but these are college-bound women. And it's just a way of getting money, selling raffle tickets, venden boletos, And that way they can pay for their college. Y así pagan sus boletos. Es algo muy típico de North Oaks. I have a boy studying and a girl going. I graduated. Of course, we have embraced cultural diversity, love to learn, promote youth participation. Aquí están los niños bailando folclórico, que es muy típico de México y de North Oaks. And this is the last one. Respect the environment, visit parks and enjoy nature, encourage walking. Esto es para que caminen. And están los niños en Edgewood Park. Here I decided to bring the North Oaks community to Edgewood Park because it's local and it's a beautiful place. So this is a school taking their children to enjoy natural animals and plants from California that are right here in Redwood City, very close to North Oaks. This is my last panel. You went one way and the other. Mi último panel, caminaste de un lado y del otro. That's it.
Questions for Elizabeth as well.
I have heard a lot of all throughout your meeting, but I feel like I'm not here. How do you feel like you want to incorporate more?
Me pregunta que North Oaks no solo es Michoacán y que cómo pongan a las demás personas. For sure, North Oaks is not only Michoacán, Mexico, but it's like saying that when, let's say, when you go to Chinatown in San Francisco, I mean, there is an obvious, very strong culture and other cultures around it. In my last image, I have children of every type because this wants to be an inclusive community. But if you look through history, it clearly goes to Michoacán and then it starts opening up. Today, North Oaks has people, even from Latin America, from other places like Guatemala and Honduras. And of course, there are many people who are not Latino. So in my last painting, I have a more inclusive group of children because North Oaks wants to include everyone. So that's the way I see it. And of course, I would have collaboration with anyone who wants to help me do the butterflies, or also in the painting, just like my other muralist said, I have a lot of experience working with other groups and we can paint murals with different groups. I don't know, from the Siena Center and so on. Yes, I am aware of that, but I'm trying to follow the history of North Oaks to this day. And of course, everyone is welcome. Todo mundo está bienvenido en North Oaks.
Otra pregunta, other questions? O comentarios, comment?
In Zoom.
Questions on Zoom, you may use the hand raise feature at this time.
Yes, I know. Ajá. Yo pinto como fantástico realista y mi website, si se las puedo dar, Elizabeth Gómez Art. www.elizabethgomezart.com. Fui a muchas tiendas de North Oaks. De hecho, yo compro en North Oaks. Hablé con mucha gente y también conocí gente que quiere hasta ayudarme a pintar. Por ejemplo, el panadero de la Michoacana quiere ayudarme a pintar y pinta bien. I've been walking through the neighborhood. This is also my neighborhood. So I have talked to many of the people in these shops, including the owner of the Michoacana, who is a third-generation baker. And guess what? He paints. He showed me some of his work. So I would invite him to help me. Yo lo invitaría a que me ayudara porque el señor pinta bien.
Other questions? ¿Otras preguntas? On Zoom? No? Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
So now is your time to please share with us your thoughts. Some things that I can say that might help you share your ideas is, are there particular presentations that captures the theme of healthy communities the best? That's the first question that I have to pose for you to discuss amongst everybody, so we can hear your thoughts.
Ahora vamos a pasar al tiempo de compartir sus comentarios o ideas o otros pensamientos que tengan. sobre las presentaciones. La primera pregunta para abrir la discusión es, can you remind me the question?
Is there a particular presentation that captures the theme of helping communities best?
Hay una presentación que tal vez captura el tema de comunidad saludable mejor en sus opiniones, o cuál presentación capturó eso para ustedes. Ever.
Yeah, first of all, thank you to all the artists who have worked with amazing. I wish we could have them all. We have really impressive stuff. Something that I really like is that you all are open to collaboration from the community. We have always valued that. And it always gives an opportunity to the community. I mean, that is really a lot of practice. Do you want to
Sí, por favor, Ever.
Primeramente, muchas gracias a las tres artistas por compartir su trabajo. Su trabajo es muy impresionante. Desearía poderlas tener a las tres, aceptar el trabajo de las tres, porque sus estudios son, aparte de únicos, muy impresionantes y muy bellos. Algo que aprecio es el hecho de que las tres artistas están abiertas a la colaboración del público, de la comunidad, porque a nuestra comunidad le gusta participar y esta oportunidad sería maravillosa para los jóvenes, en lo particular de nuestro ya que en la comunidad no tenemos muchas alternativas para los jóvenes y necesitamos más. I appreciate the trying to embed historical perspective of how the community has come about until today. I think it is important to, regardless of what the history is, to have that be reflected on the work, on artistic work that community members are going to see. Even if new community members, new arrivals are not from the Latino community, which is a majority in the community, I think it is important to still have a perspective, a historical perspective of what it has been. Aprecio mucho la perspectiva histórica que han dado al proyecto, porque me parece importante que la comunidad pueda seguir aprendiendo cómo es que se formó esta comunidad, independientemente de que la gente nueva que venga a Northfields no sea de la comunidad latina. Es todavía importante saber la historia. Esto es todo, ¿verdad?
Do you share out loud? Because I think Zoom had a hard time hearing.
Oh, I just moved that.
Did they
Mic?
hear better? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Huh?
Oh.
Oh. Thank you, Ever, for your comments, and we're capturing the comments too, so that we can go back and take it all in. So estamos capturando todos los comentarios para después llevarnos con nosotros y discutir. Other questions or comments? Otros comentarios?
I have a pretty loud voice, so I can make myself loud for Zoom. I missed the first artist, so I cannot speak about their art, so I hope that I can be updated by Evan here.
Um,
artists, but I did like the fact that the last two were very, very different. However, I am a big, I'm big on inclusivity, and I understand the history of North Fair Oaks. However, North Fair Oaks has changed over time and has really inclusive. So I feel like I do want to got a lot reflected in the art, not just in like one last piece. That's sort of like my take. So yes, history is important, but I also appreciate a newer take on these murals because we need to engage the newer generation. And they have a different perspective on murals, a different perspective on arts, and we have to be inclusive with that. So with that in mind, I think that it's important, very, very important, to look at these proposals with those eyes as well. And they have to be a little bit more modern. They have to send a message, not just for us, our age, our generation, but the future ones. They need to understand it over time. And the community is going to change over time. So that's sort of my take. But
Someone else in Spanish.
do you want to do it? Oh, okay.
lo que estaba diciendo es que, por decir, perdí el primer artista, desafortunadamente llegué tarde. No puedo hablar sobre el arte del primer artista, pero sí los siguientes dos me gusta de que son diferentes, muy diferentes del arte, muy diferente el arte. Lo que sí es importante para mí es reflejar la historia del barrio de North Fair Oaks, pero el barrio es un barrio inclusivo. Eso tenemos que reflejarlo en la pintura. O sea, no solo en una última pintura, sino en los paneles, cómo desarrolló el barrio de North Fair Oaks, la comunidad de North Fair Oaks. También tenemos que tomar en cálculo de que las nuevas generaciones aprecian un arte un poquito más moderno. No podemos pensar solo sobre nosotros, nuestra edad, nuestra generación, qué es lo que nos gusta a nosotros o qué es lo que nosotros apreciamos. Porque el mensaje, las nuevas generaciones lo entienden un poco diferente. Y aprecian cosas un poco distintas, también tomar eso en cálculo. Es mi opinión.
Gracias, thank you. Otras opiniones or comentarios, questions or other opinions?
I'm really impressed by all three artists and presentations and the creativity. And I'm excited that we're gonna get a splotch of color. I ride under the train tracks to go over and get toilet paper at Costco and run to my bike and go back. And I've walked it. I think I even tried the bike lane, but I was kind of scary of being with traffic. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ride on the sidewalk, but I may, whatever. I think it's great. And whoever's chosen, it looks like we're going to get a professional type of thing that people are going to be proud of for decades. And that you'll want to take a picture of with your friends, and that'll evoke memories of home. I didn't see anything about the train. You know, actually, this goes underneath the train tracks. There's actually a lot of history. It used to be like the train from San Francisco to San Jose, and there was a stop in Atherton and Palo Alto and Menlo Park, and they didn't want the working class folks too close to them, so they set up these communities like North Fair Oaks for workers to live in. The house cleaners and everything, and the nationalities and the origins have changed over time, but it's still working class folks. This is like the last toehold of affordability on the Mid-Peninsula. As long as it's like unincorporated county, it might still continue to be affordable compared to adjacent communities. And it's kind of working class. You know, a lot of people maybe sharing a house, maybe an extended family, maybe not, but it's an evolving story like the other lady talked about. And there's people, they say everyone's Mexican, it's a little Mexico, but there's Salvadorans, you know, they let you call them Mexican just because they don't want to correct you, but there's a whole mixed bag. There's first generation Asian immigrants. There's people that just need an affordable place to live. And this is what works for them. So I'm just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Blair. Lo que expresó Blair es que está muy impresionado con las tres presentaciones y él usa esa pasarela con su bicicleta cuando va a Costco o va a otros lugares y que está excited para que escojan a uno de los tres artistas porque pueden mirar que los tres son profesionales y va a ser algo con que la comunidad se va a sentir muy orgulloso, van a poder tomarse fotos enfrente con sus amigos, etcétera. Pero no miró nada sobre las vías del tren o el tren porque hay historia detrás de las vías del tren y también quiere que incluyan un poco más las diferentes comunidades que hay en North Fair Oaks, como la comunidad salvadoriana o de otros países que viven aquí, tal vez porque aquí solamente pueden, aunque todavía es caro vivir, pero es un poco más barato comparado con otros lugares. Y también que hay muchas familias viviendo en una sola casa, eso es algo importante también para incorporar y que eso es una comunidad trabajadora, una comunidad que trabaja y hace mucho trabajo. So esas son unas de las ideas que Blair sugería para incluir.
And just so you know, where we're going, we have to be out of this room at 8 o'clock, which means we have to wrap up in 7 minutes. So I'm going to ask one more question. Is there a particular presentation that captures the style of North Fair Oaks that stands out to you as capturing that style of North Fair Oaks that would represent North Fair Oaks?
So, nos tenemos que ir de este cuarto a las 8, so vamos a hacer una pregunta, la última pregunta, que es si hay un estilo de las presentaciones que miramos que captura más North Fair Oaks. Ever?
I think in my opinion, the second and the third presentation, they go through the imaging that they are suggesting. I think they allude to a depiction of a community that is more closely related. I'll say in Spanish. Me parece que la presentación segunda y la tercera, mediante las imágenes que utilizan, aluden más a la realidad actual de la comunidad, independientemente de los estilos.
Thank you, Ever.
Mi inglés no es muy bueno, así que voy a decir en español. Again, can I try? Well, choose my teacher thought. I want to say thank you to all you guys for, especially for the others. Thank you very much. Nice work. By the end, no matter who's gonna design or who's gonna paint this, I think if you got the idea, like he said something that I like, she said something, everybody said it. The guy somewhere in the corner, he said about the training. I will say, I'm just add a little bit more that if I'm not wrong, 30 years ago, probably 40 years ago, part of this community or part of this city right now, it was a field, which not only Mexicans, somebody mentioned that from so many other parts of the different countries, they came over here to pick up, apples or, I don't know what's the food before. But it was like a field. So now it's all full of houses, buildings and everything, right? So I'll just wanna say that if you got the right concept, if you guys, the artists, start from the beginning, from all this started into, like she said, to the new generation, would be probably the best way. I mean, would be the best game, would be the best spirit or whatever. So again, thank you and sorry for my English.
Todavía no acaba, oiga, tiene que decirlo en español.
No importa quién haga la pintura, no importa quién vaya a hacer lo que, el artista que sea, hacen un trabajo estupendo. Comentaba que por ahí varios compañeros mencionaron diferentes comunidades, como es verdad, El Salvador, cualquier otra parte del país. Si agarran la idea correcta, y cualquiera yo creo que puede hacer un buen trabajo. Solamente tienen que empezar cómo se originó, porque creo que esto era de campos de pista hace años atrás, y ahora todo lo que ha cambiado. So, si agarran la idea correcta y hacen una historia de la parte cómo se empezó hasta ahora, pensando en la nueva generación, va a quedar muy bien.
Muchas gracias.
So I think the question was about, was there a style that stood out? And I don't think that's the right question, because I think each artist has a different style. And I don't think Elizabeth showed us her painting style, which I just happen to be familiar with. And all of the artists are very competent in their ability to compose and to create imagery. So I think their question really is, which approach? You know, they're all very community approach, but they have nuances that whoever's making the decision would want to consider, because that's the real difference. You know, they're all quite competent. They know how to paint, they know how to compose, and all of them would make an amazing mural for the Fifth Avenue Underground. So I think the real question is, which approach?
Lo que acaba de decir es que la pregunta no es contestar esa pregunta de qué estilo, sino es, a ver, mi Spanish speakers, what's approach?
¿Cómo abordar el tema?
No es el estilo del artista, sino como cada quien maneja la temática. Porque cada quien tiene su estilo muy aparte.
Sí, no es como el estilo, sino como estás diciendo que cómo van a reflejar las ideas y qué estilo, no de pintura, sino qué estilo de completar el proyecto sería la mejor opción para North Fair Oaks. Ya ves que cada quien dijo, oh, yo tal vez haría esto, hablará con líderes, otros dijeron pintaría con escuelas, ¿qué estilo? Emily dijo que ella estaba con los negocios, o qué estilo sería el mejor estilo, eso que está diciendo la señora.
In 2 minutes, 2 minutos.
I have a question, not an answer. I'm just wondering, I know you guys are asking a lot of questions, but as a community member, I'm wondering how the decision is going to be made. Like, how is my opinion, if I give you my opinion, what does it matter, right? Is it gonna make a difference, or who's gonna make the final decision?
We're going to go to the next slide.
Lead us to.
Yeah, thank you for. We are going to meet as a healthy community mural committee, and we are taking your input. We are listening to your input. Everybody who was introduced at the beginning will be making the decision with your input that we are hearing this evening. And then we will make a recommendation to Supervisor Warren Slocum, and he will respond to our recommendation.
So the ultimate decision is in business with the input that you give them.
No, so la pregunta es de cómo vamos a hacer los próximos pasos. So like Laura was saying is, so this committee that we introduced at the beginning, so that was formed with Supervisor Slocum's suggestion, so that the committee, because this is a community project from the community. So we're going to present, we're taking all this input and the survey stuff, and then the committee is going to vote. And then we're going to run that by Supervisor Slocum to share the process. So it's not going to be him deciding, but he's going to take, what we're all deciding and show it to him so that he's also in the loop. And it's not just like, him not knowing what's going on. Yeah, but the committee is going to be making that decision. And then, of course, we're going to show Supervisor Slocum the recommendation. So para el proceso es el comité que presentamos al principio va a tomar todo eso en cuenta y va a recomendar el artista al supervisor Warren Slocum, y al supervisor Warren Slocum es más como aprobar lo que el comité hizo, pero no es la decisión no viene de él, sino el supervisor formó este comité porque es un proyecto de la comunidad y con la opinión y los comentarios de la comunidad, después se va a hacer una decisión.
I'm wondering if there,
Your sign would use if they put by your eye.
we're good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much to all the artists. Your work is beautiful. Your work is amazing. We look forward to seeing the results of this. Thank you for giving us your time this evening.
And I would just in case you bring up a good point, just in case you didn't sign in, please do sign in so that you get added to our notification list. You'll get updates. I know most of you signed in, most of you were already on our list,